I spent about 2 weeks in a country at civil war, filming some interviews which turned out to be completely fabricated. People pointing at the same person on the picture saying, "That's me, that's me." I mean, I saw the signs, but I didn't say anything. Today, I tell you the story of my biggest failure as a cinematographer and what I've learned from it. To understand the story, we have to go way back. Actually, almost pretty much 100 years. So in the beginning of the 20th century, there was this very controversial, I have to say, filmmaker, German filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl. She made some of the most influential movies at the time. She pioneered like tracking shots, camera work, different camera angles, and she actually used the camera as a storytelling tool and like a tool to convey emotions. But I mean, we have to mention her, like, what makes her controversial, and this is her work for the Nazis. She was the main driving force between some of the biggest propaganda movie hits, Olympia and I mean, they're not worth mentioning. But I mean, her work in the field of filmmaking still like influences our thinking of camera work today. So she really was a pioneer. But I mean, and after the war, she got banned from ever filming again. A couple of years later, after the war ended, she read Ernest Hemingway's book Green Hills of Africa and saw some photographs of a British photographer, George Rogers, of the Nuba people in the Nuba mountains, and she became obsessed with them. Again, a cool irony is that Rogers actually went to Africa to photograph these people, to look for something pure, to heal after he photographed the liberation of the concentration camps in Germany. And then here comes this German filmmaker and asks him for the location of these people, and he didn't want to tell her. Leni would go in 1956 for a first trip to Africa, and during her shooting in Kenya for her movie The Black Cargo, about the modern day slavery, she was hit by a truck in Kenya and was brought to the hospital. She actually was in coma there. She recovered and she continued to search for the Nuba, and then in the late 60s, beginning of the 70s, she finally found the Nuba in what was back then pretty much the center of Sudan, an area which is now known as the Nuba Mountains. She stayed with them multiple months at a time, visited them from 1968 I think to 1977 many times. She published 2 very popular books, renowned books, which became worldwide bestsellers, like photography books. In 2000, Leni Riefenstahl was at this time 97 years old. She decided to go back to the Nuba Mountains to visit her friends again, see what happened of the people, how they're doing, how the civil war affected them. And I mean, I got told that she didn't make it to this place because her helicopter actually crashed and she had to be airlifted to Munich out of this situation. Yeah, so that's that story of Leni and the Nuba. Now, where do I come in? How does it come to me? In the 1956, back when Riefenstahl was filming her first movie in Kenya, and she had this truck accident. She was brought to the hospital of Nairobi, and in this hospital there was a woman from New Zealand actually giving birth to her son, and Leni Riefenstahl and this lady met in this hospital, and like they had like a short conversation. So fast forward, this lady became somewhat obsessed of Leni. She bought the books. She was also like in love with Africa. She lived there for a long time. She became an art director of like big brands. They produced a lot of brand films for very big brands in the Asian market. And eventually she went back to retire in Australia, where I actually met this woman, and we got along quite well. And she told me about this dream she has. She would like to do the trip which Riefenstahl, she called her Leni, could never do. And she would like to go there, follow the tracks of Riefenstahl, find out where she stayed, maybe even try to find people who actually remember her, and follow these tracks. At this time, this lady was 86 years old. And I mean, it was a crazy goal, like a crazy dream. And I mean, I was on board. I mean, she wanted to hire me as a DP. She liked the work that I did on the movie I was just shooting in Australia, the Journey to the Climate, where we went with Greenpeace together to the biggest climbing tipping points and documented them and spoke with scientists. So she liked really my work there and said, okay, I want to have you on board. I want to have you with me in Sudan. And I said yes. I mean, at this time I was eager to jump on any opportunity for an adventure. I just came out of shooting, and I shooting the 2 feature documentaries, and I thought like amazing. It's the next step, next job, and it was supposed to be like a piece for the Australian television. And yeah, so we went with kind of a crazy plan. So actually you have to know, like, Nuba Mountains had been fought over for the last 20 years now almost. You see some videos on YouTube of a guy traveling there and documenting how the Nuba people in the mountains, the Nuba, get bombarded by Antonov bombers from the government of Khartoum. Because, I mean, at least that's my interpretation of everything, is that the Nuba actually see themselves not as Islamic people like the north of Sudan does, but in the Nuba Mountains, or this whole area around the south of now Sudan, is where the oil reserves are. But in the Nuba Mountains live the Nuba, who didn't want to like belong to Sudan, and so they started fighting, rebelling. And actually what I didn't know, that what I learned when we traveled there, is that they actually have now their own Nuba Republic. They say, we are the Nuba Republic, we want to be recognized by the United Nations. I mean, of course, there's no lobby for them. So this area was fought over for the last 20 years. And the last 20 years it was incredibly dangerous to travel there, especially if you are a camera team, because, I mean, Sudan would always try to like keep you out of there, because they don't want documented what is going on there, of course. But in 2023, if I remember correctly, there was a coup in Sudan, and the former government got dissolved, and the military took over. And these two militaries won the privateer army of the president and the actual state military, and they were supposed to control each other, control the gold, so there's like reduce corruption. That was the idea. Now, with the power vacuum, both of these military generals started reaching for power, and a brutal war started between the two militaries, which released the pressure onto the Nuba people, because they didn't have time to focus on that battlefield as well. So the Nuba were actually like left alone for this time, which gave us enough confidence to be able to enter Sudan. We entered with no visa. Like we had no visa of the government of Khartoum. We had a visa of the Nuba Republic, which is amazing to me, like that we actually had a visa in hand of a country which like almost nobody knows that it even exists. So the plan was, we fly to South Sudan, we take a bush plane up to the north to a refugee camp from refugees from Sudan, and then take cars and drive multiple days over the border into the Nuba Mountains and see what we find. I mean, contact into there was very hard, very difficult. I mean, our contact told us there's no food, vegetable, we have to bring everything with us. So we bought canned food en masse. We had a whole pickup truck full, because actually what we didn't know how long we would stay. So we had a time frame from 2 windows to up to 2 weeks to up to 5 weeks. And for this 5 weeks I would be getting a lump sum of 6,000 euro. Like, either if it's 2 weeks or 5 weeks, I would get 6,000 euro. I mean, that should have been my first red flag, because I was responsible for the whole technical infrastructure. So I had to think about, how do I charge my cameras, my laptop, lights, the drone especially. How do I charge that in the desert? So I soldered my own wiring system to charge everything. I had like an own mini power station which consisted out of like multiple V-mount batteries, so I could all take them onto the plane. So we actually had like a whole 1.5 kilowatt hours of energy storage at the end. So we could work all night on the footage, I thought. So we stayed there for a couple of days in this first town, and we started looking for Leni, asking around, asking people, trying to find every old person in the area who might still remember these days. Remember this German lady coming with a camera. And we didn't have any luck. We didn't find anybody, even though it was absolutely beautiful place. There was no story. There was nobody who remembered. And then all of a sudden, in the morning of one day, one of our drivers came back and he said, I was just at the market and I spoke to somebody, and he knows somebody who met her. Like, there's this other town where she stayed in. And we went to this other town, and all of a sudden it felt like jackpot. Like, we found these people who remembered her, like this very big tall guy a wrestler, a Nuba wrestler. I mean, this is, for your context, a very big tradition of Nubas is the wrestling, and this was also photographed back in the day. And we actually found this old man, and this guy said like, yeah, I remember I was on the picture. And then this guy said like, yeah, I lived not too far from her, and like here we I can show you, I can bring you to her house. And he brought us to the ruins of Riefenstahl's house where she used to live, and we met her neighbor, very old lady. Said like, I remember her. And we shot interview after interview. I shot B-roll all day, and I was like thinking to myself the whole time, like, what is the story? What is the red line? What is the thread through to like during the story? What is the red line? And to me, the story was 100% clear. It was the story of the 86-year-old Australian woman. The story I just told you, traveling to Sudan illegally, entering a country, a country at war, to retrace the steps of this woman she met during her childbirth. This like, one came out of a coma, one just gave birth to her son. I mean, what a better story is there? And the first 2-3 days I shot this way, but whenever I filmed her, she would get angry at me. She didn't want to be in the film. She didn't want to be part of the story. She said, this is not my story. And I mean, I respected it. I mean, she's the director, she's the person who hires me. So I asked her, what do you want the story to be? What is the beginning, middle, end? Or what should I film to tell your story, to facilitate your story? And she's like, I don't know yet. We don't know what we will find. And I said, okay, fine. I mean, yeah, that was another mistake. But then we found something, and then I asked her again, okay, how do you want to tell us? How do we continue from here? How do we connect all these different places, all these different stories we hear? Yeah, we have to see. And whenever I tried to like get something out of her, I went to her and talked to her and asked her, okay, let's form the story, let's brainstorm together, let's go through it. I got told like, I've been doing this since 50 years. How long have you been doing this? Why are you questioning me? The first time was okay. I mean, it was a hard situation for all of us. Maybe she's still forming it in her head. A couple of days later, I go again to her, ask her. We have the same result, same situation. I go third time. She really snaps at me, and I feel like, okay, I'm not bothering anymore. I mean, this is her film. She has to decide now what I shoot. I make it look as good as possible, but it is not my film. It's not my part to tell the story. So yeah, over the days, the mood of the whole team started to like deteriorate. The epiphany for me was that when she asked me, like, she wanted of a shot which was just impossible. She imagined like a forward dolly shot through the desert where you can see the village in the distance and the mountain in the distance. But I mean, there were too many bushes for me like to walk, so I tried it walking. I was too slow and I was too low to the ground. So I said, okay, I can do it with the drone. But the only drone I had was Mavic Mini Pro. And she's like, no, don't want it with the drone. It's not, I want the best quality for this shot. This is the hero shot. This is the shot we need. So what she expected of me is to stand in the desert on top of a Land Cruiser, upright on the roof, and hold the camera over my head. And then the Land Cruiser would drive at speed. Like she said, like, oh, at least 30. And I said, like, I mean, no, this is ridiculous. I mean, who would even stand without a camera on top of a car? You cannot stand on top of a car and drive off-road through the desert. And yeah, this was a point which would, like, it's completely ridiculous that it would come up again and again over the days. Why would you even bring it up again if, like, I mean, I was in a complete different world. Everyone was getting fed up of it, and we were shooting interview after interview. We were finding people. And this point, I actually, like, I started realizing, okay, it's too good to be true. I saw people pointing at the same person again and again, and I mean, she didn't seem to bother. I don't know if she didn't notice at all, or if she just saw, like, she didn't bother, like, she just continued with the interview, didn't get more out of the people. So I saw, and like also, like, what we found, it was really too good to be true. Like, this, like, somebody all of a sudden had an old, like, file case or something like that. They said it's from her. They had a kettle. They said it's from her. Yeah. So long story short, the team was getting very fed up of her. And it was now 2 weeks. Everyone knew, okay, it's either 2 weeks or up to 5 weeks. I think everyone on the team was paid offered a lump sum like me. So everyone was kind of getting, like, tired of the whole situation. And actually one team member, a local guy, started giving her unpurified water in the hope of that she would want to go sooner. I mean, I saw it and I didn't say anything at this point. I mean, I was so fed up at this point. I mean, it's wrong that I didn't say anything, but I mean, there's no but. It's wrong that I didn't say anything, but still say but. I thought, what good comes from it? I won't save the production if I say something. I save my spirit and I save my mind if we go home earlier. And that's literally what I thought. And I thought, okay, I mean, I tried to at least combat the unpurified water with by giving her fresh water, filtered water, enough, offering it always to her. So I mean, my conscience is kind of clear as long as far as it can be. And yeah, but everyone was getting tired of the whole situation. After 10 days, yeah, it was 10 days, she came to me, and at the whole time we never looked at what we shot. We never looked, like, she never wanted to look through the stuff with me. She never wanted to give me like criticism. But I mean, she would just, I mean, in the evening she would just go to bed when it got dark, and so she came to me and asked me, what do we think? Do we have enough to tell a story? And I remember contemplating in this moment, if I tell her the truth or not. Do I tell her that I don't even know what your story is? You never told me what you want the story to be. I don't know what I'm even filming here. I don't know how you want to connect all these random interviews we filmed. I could have told her my doubts of the credibility of all the interviews and people, but I chose at this point to not say anything. I said, no, we shot a lot. We have a lot of footage. I think there is something in there. And I mean, I knew at the time that it was not, but I just wanted to get out. I knew, okay, I mean, I'm not, if I'm staying any longer here, there's no benefit for me. There's no gain. I mean, I don't get more money. I don't get, like, my, I'm destroying my body here. I'm having diarrhea every day. It's, was not a nice situation to be in. So I lied, and then like we stayed another day. She went with the translator through all of the interviews. They translated everything. So she saw the interviews. She saw what we had, and she decided to leave the day after. So we stayed, I think, in total 12 days there. It felt like a month, actually. When I realized, I looked at the calendar when we came home, I thought, like, it was only 10 days we stayed there. So yeah, we went to Juba, to the capital of South Sudan. There in the hotel, we looked through all of the footage. I went with her through everything. She gave me some criticism. But I mean, she was mostly happy, I guess. And I went home, I wrote my invoice, I sent it to her. 1 week, 2 weeks, no answer, no response. 3 weeks, no response. I sent her like 3 reminders, payment reminders, and then after like I think 6 weeks or so, I don't get a payment, I get an email. She was telling me that she went with her editor through the footage and they looked at it, and she basically has no story there. Which like, and I shot like, and she said like I shot things which are not good. She said that my footage is not, like, she can't use almost anything of it. She basically said that I should like go back and rethink and like contemplate how much my work was actually worth, and then send her a new invoice. And I mean, it hit me hard because I thought about, was it like, I thought I was, yeah, I really got sad of it because I thought I did an okay job. I thought she had this vision, this thread, which she just wasn't telling me, and I did what she told me to shoot. I even like the last 3 days, I think, the last 3 days, she was getting very exhausted, very tired quickly. So like I said like, okay, she can stay in the mornings in bed, and I would go out at the sunrise alone and film things in the town, like just townspeople, because I thought, okay, she will need cutting material. I mean, she didn't ask me for it. I said I would go out and shoot these things, and I thought like I really like, even though like I knew that there were things missing, or like this, even though it was horrible how the feeling was, how like the whole vibe on set was, I thought like I still went out and did my job. I still tried to make a good job, and then you tell me like that it's not even worth the 6,000 we originally agreed on. And yeah, it really sent me into a dark spiral, like questioning everything, questioning my capabilities. It still does, and to this day I still question like, am I capable of telling a story, or am I like, it's still like, nags at me somehow. It still nags at me somehow. And yeah, it took a while. I spoke with a lot of people about it, and in the end I came to the conclusion it's not my fault. It was not my responsibility to have the story. I mean, I asked her so many times. She was the director. She was the one who told me, I am the professional here. I am the one who's doing this since 50 years. Don't come to me like that. When I specifically wanted to ask her about the story, when I specifically tried to talk with her about these things. So I spent about like a whole week writing a response message, and yeah, I expected like, okay, I wrote the money off. I thought like, okay, after this message she will just not respond. I mean, she's in Australia, I'm in Germany, how would I legally get to her? And I got a message back which I did not expect. She started with saying sorry to me and like accepting that it was her fault, telling me that it was her fault. She didn't know what she was doing, that it was her mistake. And she said she excused herself that she even came to me with that she even wrote this message to me. I will of course get my 6,000. She only was very mad at this point because she actually went to the archives in Berlin and got the documents and the diary of Riefenstahl, and found out through this diary that Riefenstahl never was in this town where we did all these interviews, where we filmed all this story. Everything we filmed there was fabricated for us, to keep us there and like keep us spending our money in this town and not in some other town. I mean, I understand that it was a shock I don't know how, like, I mean, for me it was not that big of a shock. For her, I guess it was a giant shock. I guess she didn't see the signs. I definitely saw the signs and I didn't say anything because of the mood on set. I think she was somewhat embarrassed. And then after I sent my message, probably even more embarrassed for having to excuse herself. I mean, she was so confident there. She organized everything. She commanded all these men around in like you could say, a patriarchal system, and then like it was all fake. It was all fabricated for us. In this moment I knew, okay, everything I filmed was also for nothing. All my work was for absolutely nothing. There will be no piece, no television show about this beautiful place. So I mean, this I did say in the beginning that this is my biggest failure, and I really think that this is a failure also of me. I mean, and I learned 2 really valuable lessons out of it. The first one is, I will never take again a fixed rate with an open time frame, because this $6,000 put a clear ceiling on my effort. Maybe it would have been different if the vibe, if like the whole teamwork would have been different. Could have been, maybe I would have wanted to stay there for like 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, the place was amazing, but I was just thinking after the 2 weeks were over, what am I gaining from this? The only thing which was keeping me there is that this woman was paying for the plane back. The plane would not leave without her, and So I was stuck there, and I was really like, that was also getting to me, I think getting to the whole team. I think it was in everyone's mind. It was just, okay, we are like now working for free, and we're like not even treated nicely, we're not even treated well. And yeah, that's maybe if I would have known that, okay, if every day I stay longer than 2 weeks, I get another 500, or I don't know, like even a lower sum, even if it would have been maybe 200, I would have said, like, I would have pushed to stay longer. I would have pushed to, like, in the end come out with more and done a better job, done, like, pushed to film more story. But I was just fed up. I just wanted to go home like everyone else. And yeah, I will never do that again. Like, if you want more time, you pay for the extended time, not make flexible lump sum things where like, yeah, it's not in my interest, it's not in the client's interest. Was just useless. It was just killed the whole shoot at the end. The second thing I've learned is to speak up no matter the other person's experience. If I feel something is wrong, I should say it. I mean, I saw the problems. I saw there's no story. I saw the fake interviews. I realized the fake interviews while we were shooting. And I saw the problem of that we didn't review the footage. And I decided not to say anything. I mean, I got belittled so many times that I said, like, oh, it's not my place. But this was the real failure. This was the real failure, why I see also part responsibility of this shoot ending up a total failure. I learned that, like, experience doesn't equal competence in something. Experience doesn't mean that you know everything, you are all knowing and everyone else should respect you. No, that's not the truth. I mean, we see it best in our politics everywhere in the world, but that's another topic. Yeah, these were my two big failures, and now I definitely will continue speaking in mind. I don't know if I will still accept jobs with unfair pay because I want to go to the trips, but we will see. I wouldn't deny that I probably would accept the deal still, but I would know now that I shouldn't. Yeah, it's just sad because in the end I said we went to this amazing place, met these amazing people. They were so nice to us. Like, I never had such a welcoming and nice experience on any other trip. Nobody was offended by my camera. I never had any bad looks. People were giving us mangoes for free. People like were happy that we were there. Like, everyone was just amazing. I met the governor of the whole area. Like, he was just talking, asking me about cameras, showing me around, showing me their computer rooms, their like projects, what they're doing for the youth. And it was really cool, really genuine, nice people, and an amazing place which was completely forgotten. And now none of this stuff will see life ever. We'll see any, like, there was nothing coming from it, and this is the real shame of it all. This is what really still pains me, and I'm still thinking what I can do with the footage. But I mean, from the way she talked, I don't think I'm allowed to release the footage and make my own project from it. But I don't know how to make a project from it because there's no story. I mean, that is the real problem. Yeah. this is how you learn lessons in life, and I hope, no, I don't hope, I will make it better next time. So tell me in the comments about your biggest failures in your career, what you've learned from it. Maybe I also learned some stuff from it. And I see you on the next one. Ciao.